Ever Crisis, Very Hard Crisis Dungeons, TLDR, let's go. So the last two very hard dungeons are going to be disappearing in 3 days, so make sure that you have at the very least attempted them. Even if you cannot complete these, or you don't believe that you can complete these, give them a try anyway, because the tickets that you use are expendable, they come back, not a problem. These dungeons, once they're gone, they're gone. So, in the first dungeon, we have Logues Ruins. Your first time rewards, you got 500 blue crystals if you're capable of getting an S rank, and if you get an A rank, you get 15 Mythril. These are not grindable anywhere in the game. These allow you to get your weapons to level 90, so very, very important. Even if you attempt these and just die after the first 2-3 bosses, probably going to get like an E. That's still like 200 crisis medals just for trying. Really not that bad. And then for some reason, I don't know if this is the same with every dungeon, but I got my 500 for my first time clear, and then also got a bonus of 1,000 for some reason. Both times? I don't know. Like, both times is in both dungeons, not twice on this one, but you get what I mean. Okay, jumping into it. So, all of the enemies in this dungeon are weak to wind. However, the Spooky Balloon and the Mad Anchor are capable of buffing their own resistance to wind. So having fire and lightning is going to be very useful for you, whether that just be Rama and Ifrit, either way. And every enemy's weakness for sigils is just X. They have the diamond, they have the circle, but don't worry about them. They are choices. Just bring X on everyone and you'll be able to get through no problem. Thing to note is that with the Behemoth, he does have his sigil phase whenever he goes into his sigil phase. If you hit him with any form of magic, he will retaliate with a big AoE attack that does deal quite a bit of damage. So if you can, just avoid using magic on that and you'll be totally fine. And with the Mad Anchor, it may have been a bug, I'm not entirely sure, but he was fully buffed and defensed against absolutely everything for my entire fight. The description definitely says resistances to only one element and one property can be acquired at a time. Yeah, that didn't happen to me. I don't know what was going on there, so I highly recommend using all 3 of your limits the moment you walk into this fight, just in case it happens to you as well. But yeah, let's look at the map. Something to note as well is that this is the map where you have to leave somebody on a pressure plate. You leave them behind, and you go ahead with only 2 characters. It is absolutely annoying. You have this immediately. You spawn here in the bottom left, you go up here, this is where you leave somebody behind. You'll go through and fight Airbuster, you'll be able to destroy him no problem, don't worry about it. Then we get our character back, and we fight the first Spooky Balloon, or whatever the fuck it's called. Absolute cakewalk, don't worry about it, it's the same as every other one you fought in the story, or in the enhancement quests, whatever. We're gonna ignore Behemoth, because we want the best score, unless you feel like you cannot beat this dungeon. If you don't think you can beat this dungeon, kill him now, secure yourself a good score, and be happy with what you have then. Fantastic. Or at the very least, go down here and get this chest, and then go back and kill him. Right? Why not? Then you're going to come down here, you're going to get split the party once again. You are forced to go left, so you're going to come round, and you're going to go left. You're going to fight the bird. Bird is an absolute piece of cake. For some reason, all the birds in this game seem to just be terrible. I don't know, whatever. Then you're going to make sure you get your 3rd character back before fighting the last Spooky Balloon thing, okay? Do not go and fight this with only 2 characters. Make sure you get your 3rd character back through this little entrance, and then go kill him, and then defeat your Behemoth. Nice and easy. Alright, then we move on to the Capawine Caverns. Same details, first time rewards, you're looking at the 500 crystals, you're looking at the Mythril, and, just all the other stuff. Totally fine. I was unable to S+ this one. This one is extremely difficult, okay? In here, we have 3 enemies weak to lightning. We have 2 enemies weak to water. We have 2 enemies weak to earth. However, what you bring in here is a little up in the air. You should really work it out yourself, to be perfectly honest. This one is a lot more difficult. The first enemy you encounter is the Mole Crawler. Oh, by the way, they are also all Triangle Sigils. Don't worry about any other sigils. Just bring your triangles. You'll be totally fine. I highly recommend bringing people with Triangle Sigil breaks on their weapons. These 4 enemies, don't worry about them too much. You'll be able to breeze through them. It's fine. This is the final boss. He is fucking awful to fight. This is where this comes into play. he will go into his sigil break phase, and he'll have, 15, 18, whatever sigils that you have to break. The longer that he is in that phase, the more he buffs himself, right? It says in his description here, during battery assist, which is the name of his break phase, grants self magic attack up. Now, that's a little misleading. He doesn't just be like, oh, magic attack up. No. Every 3 seconds or so, he goes up, 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 up until about 5 tiers of magic attack up, and you cannot bring it back down again under any circumstances. It stays for the rest of the fight. Once he's done this, his attack pattern changes, and he uses his prismatic ray. And then he uses it again, and then he breaks down a little bit, and then he uses it again, and then he uses it again, and then he breaks down a little bit, and it goes on and on and on. This move, for me, was dealing about 7,500 damage per time he used it. It made the fight impossible until I worked out a few other things. This is a lightning elemental magic attack, okay? So if you have somebody that can buff your own magic resist, for the love of God, bring them. And every time that you win a fight, I have a couple of pictures here that I can show you. These are from Octo's Discord, Smelly Octopus. I will leave links in the description to these images right here. In this Capawine Caverns, the other one doesn't really matter too much, but, it's here anyway, so you can plan ahead of time and see what you're going to get. In the Capawine Cavern, you are offered lightning resist. Lightning resist. You're going to want as much lightning resist as you can, specifically for this move, the Prismatic Ray, okay? Unless you get them, you're probably not going to be able to kill this. So I took the lightning resist 10%, I then took the lightning resist 25%, which dropped my damage quite a bit, unfortunately. And then I couldn't take the earth potency or the water potency because it dropped my lightning resist. So this was a very, very tough dungeon. But yeah, you might be able to do this better than I did. Who knows? I will show you my team afterwards, and you can decide whether you think you'd be able to do it a bit better. But then there is the map. In the map, you spawn in the bottom right here. You can fight the first guy. You're forced to anyway. There's no real tactics here. Just beat him to death. You're then also forced to do this one next. If you've got Rama at this point, just bang, bang, bang. He'll go through all 3 of them. Do quite a bit of damage. Hell, you could use all 3 limits here because that will guarantee that all 3 die. Totally fine. Then you'll collect a key so you can unlock this gate and be able to move up. We're going to ignore the final boss entirely. Then you have a choice. You can either fight the Motorball. I've got hiccups. The Motorball or the Red Dragon. I highly recommend fighting Motorball first because every time you beat a boss, the next boss is harder. Get Motorball done first because he is the more difficult of the 2 enemies. Destroy him, collect the stuff in the room, come up here, destroy him, and then collect the stuff in this room over here, and then beat the boss. And that's kind of everything. Yeah, so highly recommended. Bring your Triangle Sigil breaks if you can, bring a magic defense increase if you can, and make sure you take lightning resist on everything if you can, okay? That's the only way that I was capable of doing this. That's not to say that you won't do better than I did, but this was my team. If you want to have a look at my stats real quickly, Aerith, I was just healing, and then I have this for my magic defense increase. It went up to a high potency. Definitely helped save my life. Random, here's the stats, whatever. I had my Glenn, who was buffing other people with the last Halloween banner event. He also does a ton of damage. He is overpowered as fuck. And then I have my Cloud, who was capable of using the water because the last boss is weak to water. Extremely useful. And there's the stats. That's kind of it. That's everything that you're going to need to know. Again, a link to the description for both of these pictures. Whoever created these from Octo's Discord, thank you if you're watching this. This helped me a ton, and hopefully this being in my video will help other people a ton as well. So, everybody, thank you so much. Please leave comments if you are able to do this. If this video assisted you in some way, I'd love to know that I was helping somehow. Leave a like, sub if you're not, and I'll catch you in the next TLDR video.